I'm very happy to note that the team from GCTC is organizing this very important conference on safe, trusted, and frontier AI model for next generation national security. This event is a pre-event for the AI Impact Summit that is being held in February, and the agenda for this summit. This pre-conference that has been happening, especially with regard to ensuring safety, ensuring trustworthy, ensuring a usage of AI for national security, is developed, is very relevant, because as AI gets developed deployed, how do we ensure sovereign AI capabilities to reduce dependence on foreign AI models is becomes very important. In India, when we look at development of AI, the moment we are thinking of using the foreign AI models, the biggest question that comes in, whenever we use a foreign AI model, we lose data sovereignty, because whenever we put any input, any prompt to all these models that are available today, whether it's Gemini or the Chat GPT, whether it's Grok, whether it's Claude, immediately the data from our country goes to another entity. And once it goes there, then they use the data in their own ways, for their own advantage, for training their models, for building their applications, and we lose the control over that data. Number two, we are not fully aware with regard to how these models have been trained. So many of them are not open source models, so that explainability, understandability aspect is also not there. So if any country knows that we are using it for certain strategic purposes, they can do data poisoning, or they can moderate the responses in such a way that it does not meet the objectives of national security. Third, the whole usage of such models will result in foreign dependency, which can be a huge risk for for a long time to come. So, in order to address that, in order to ensure that we develop capabilities for foundation models, we do need to invest in sovereign AI models. We need to ensure that the models which are developed by Indian companies. We do need to ensure that these models conform to the principles of ethical AI development. We need to ensure that these Indian sovereign models are deployed in Indian data centers. They conform to Indian laws, and we have a complete view with regard to how these models are working, and how these models are providing outputs, especially with regard to how the weights are structured and how these models are functioning. Then it also helps in building Atmanirbharta. It also builds in building sovereign capabilities, which can be fine tuned for other applications in different dimensions. So for national security, for building our own foundation models becomes very important. And when we are doing this, we need to kind of build a lot of capacity within India. We need to work with our startup community. We need to work with the with the with our industry. We need to provide them the relevant data sets. We need to have protective safeguards which ensure that whatever is shared with Indian companies, Indian startups, remain in India, and we do not lose out to any foreign player in the long term. Safety security of AI models is also important, from ensuring that we don't result in causing any harm to Indian citizens. So whether it's usage of AI, recently there was an episode in which Grok was generating images, pornographic images, vulgar images of Indian citizens without their consent. And herein, the legal provisions that we have in India, especially the provisions and the DPDP rules that have been framed, that have been notified, require that any personal attribute which is shared by a user on any platform, it constitutes a personally identifiable data, and that cannot be altered by an algorithm without his consent. So if there is an AI model which is changing the fundamental image of a person in any manner without the consent of a person, that will amount to a violation of DPDP Act, and penalties will be imposed. So that becomes very important. The other thing that we need to do is that when we are building sovereign AI applications for armed forces or for national security, we need to ensure that we go towards building on-prem models, in which models which are developed within India are installed on the sovereign data infrastructure, and then they are operated in such a way that all data remains within the sovereign infrastructure and does not leave the premises in any form. Dependency on cloud service providers is also very risky, because we know what happened in a case that Microsoft did with Nayara Energy when all their services were stopped. So that also becomes a big risk, especially in the fluid geopolitical scenario that we are presently looking into. Cybersecurity is again a very important area of concern, because today AI in cybersecurity is a very important use case, is a very important application area, and in case we do not have our own capabilities, then we become very vulnerable from that point of view also. So building capacity, strengthening such tools, building sovereign AI models, developing applications for national security, cyber security are very important thrust areas that we have. And many of these thoughts, many of these ideas will be discussed at the Impact Summit that we are hosting in February. Some of the themes, safe and trustworthy AI is a theme that we have. We are also trying to work with global community to build a AI trusted commons repository of tools which can lead to safe and trustworthy development of AI. Herein, there are tools which can help in bias mitigation. There are tools that can help in ethical AI certification. There are tools which can help in stress testing. There are tools which can help in machine learning. There are tools which can help detect deep fakes. There are tools which can be used for labeling AI generated content. So again, what we are trying to do is that through the network of safety institutes, through the work that is being done by the Security Institute in UK, through the work that has been done at OECD, and the work that's done in India in our research institutions, academic institutions, we are trying to create a repository of trusted tools as a trusted AI commons which can be used by the larger global community. So I sincerely hope that we'll be able to bring consensus on these very important issues at the Impact Summit, and we look forward to participation of all key stakeholders in various sessions related to national security, related to strategic issues at the Impact Summit. I am extremely thankful and grateful to GCTC Aditya Tikku. I've been admiring his passion and his approach towards taking up projects of national importance right from the COVID till this date. Last 6 years, I have seen how this organization has grown and expanded its footprint in becoming a very important think tank, especially with regard to matters of national security, especially with regard to matters of cyber security. I wish the very best to this conference and look forward to hearing of the conclusions and the suggestions that emerge from this very important congregation. So thank you once again, and Jai Hind.